Hello there, this is Angelo. I'm sure you're familiar with me if you checked out State of Euphorbia on this website. Anyways, coming at you with a video off the cuff, nothing pre-prepared or anything like that. But I wanted to just throw a couple things out there. This is in regard to the National Brain Tumor Society walk that I am now annually involved in. I started last year, 2015, and the 2016 Portland walk is coming up in August on Sunday, August 7th. And I really want to get the word out early this year. I want to get as much participation and involvement behind it as possible. I really leaned on the community of friends and particularly the craft beer community, who I have pretty good ties to. I've been involved with that for a while. And so I've asked for support with that. And I put up a post here on the website which kind of outlines all of my efforts and the efforts of the people from the NBTS, that's the National Brain Tumor Society, and the Oregon chapter. So I've left up some links of how you can donate or join my team and march with me on that day, or you can just be a virtual sponsor. But there's more involved this year, or at least I'd like to make there be more involved in this year's National Brain Tumor Society March of Portland. I'd like to get some fundraisers underhand. My organizational skills aren't quite what they used to be. I have a brain tumor, as you probably know, an oligodendroglioma, stage 2, which is a slower growing variety, which is good news for me, but it's of a decent size, about 6 centimeters center to back of my skull, and about 4.5 across and 5 deep, so it's a centimeter wise, so that's a pretty good size. And my left parietal lobe and part of my frontal lobe. So what's going on is that things have stayed pretty steady for me, which is good news because of the nature of this type of brain tumor. Usually it's just kind of creeps in its growth really slowly, but with the tumor and my initial diagnosis came about because of a series of grand mal seizures, which those are the serious seizures where you lose consciousness and then you kind of have a fit or a I don't know what the correct terminology is. I don't want to be politically incorrect against myself, but you know what a grand mal seizure is, I think, is where the person loses consciousness and they kind of start flipping around on the ground, or they lose bodily control and they start shaking about. This persists for a while until the person either snaps out of it or they receive some kind of medical attention. And this can be a serious type of seizure which can lead to what's known as status epilepticus. And that means that the person has been in the stage of a grand mal seizure for a period usually over 5 minutes, and that can cause death or severe brain damage. So these are things that I'm trying to avoid. I daily take medication for my seizures to help combat them. Take a couple of meds right now, and on top of that, as needed, I take benzodiazepines. You might have heard of Klonopin or Ativan. Those are drugs that I take on a regular basis, and I'm not too happy about this because those are controlled substances and they're not substances that I want to use. I am working my hardest not to develop any sort of dependency on these, but it's hard to know whether the medication or the condition or the combination of the two are creating the issues. Anyways, I won't get too deep into my own personal battle with my brain tumor and the side effect, which is my most impactful one, which is the epilepsy. I finally got a medical alert bracelet now, so I can go out, do more things on my own, and not worry as much about it. But that being said, There's people, more than 700,000 people in this country that are affected by brain tumors that have them, and all different kinds. Glioblastomas, astrocytomas, different degrees. As my neurosurgeon that did my initial biopsy of my brain to test to see what kind of tumor I had after the scan, he told me, well, if you're going to have a brain tumor, this is the best kind to have. Well, that's probably true, but who wants a brain tumor, right? And battling epilepsy is not always fun. But like I said, I'm grateful because there's people out there, friends of mine who I've made through the Oregon chapter of the National Brain Tumor Society, and people that I've met on the internet through discussion groups, who suffer much more drastic effects of brain tumors, and their concerns are much more dire. So these people are facing the ends of their lives, some of them, and severe physically and mentally altering conditions that are no joke. And I mean, no brain tumor is a joke. Some are considered benign to a degree, but most are malignant. Even ones like mine, which I initially said was benign, it's slow growing, so eventually it will be, I guess, or is constituted as malignant. These things usually get the better of people. There's no such thing as really a good brain tumor to have, and everybody has their different story, and everybody has their different battle with this. And obviously this is a type of cancer, and there's all different types of cancers, so there's all different types of battles that people go through every day. Even beyond cancer, people struggle with uh, a multiplicity of issues that make life a challenge. But my focus is on being positive and being grateful for the things that I do have in my life, and being an advocate and proponent for things that I believe can and will change the world for the better, whether it's, from a political standpoint or social standpoint or whatnot. This is one belief that's obviously dear to my heart and head, because it's something that I am actually experiencing. So, when I initially was diagnosed with a brain tumor, a lot of people in the community, especially the craft beer community, stepped up big to help me, because I was without medical insurance, leaving me with a huge debt um, to the hospitals that have performed much of the procedures, the medications, a lot of out of pocket. Then I was fortunate enough to get on Care Oregon, um, and being on the medications and having the progression of my condition, no longer able to work because, going out at a job and having a pretty dramatic seizure, and having to deal with high stimulation environments. Um, it's just bad news. And I won't get too much into my own experience right now. I've talked about it in the past in some of my other videos. But um, what it has afforded me is time alone, where because of stimulation issues and other things that I'm undergoing, I spend a lot of time by myself, because I really have a hard time dealing with the outside world. I do a lot of my communication with people online through like Facebook and social media, and a lot of the perception people have, because of the positive attitude that I try to project, is that everything's okay and I'm fine, and like, let's go have a beer. Well, unfortunately, I don't drink alcohol anymore, and being close to the craft beer community and loving great beer here in Oregon, um, it's one of the things that I've had to accept is no longer a part of my life. So what I have done is like I said, I'm focusing on other positive aspects that I think are positively impactful, and the National Brain Tumor Society is one of those things that I think can really make a difference in. And it's fun to be a member of a community that gives back to me in many ways. And sometimes I think that having a brain tumor has changed my life for the better in many ways. It's made me more grateful for things that I have. I just don't roll about life and, you know, drink a few too many beers and not think about the things that make life valuable and precious. And, you know, I'm in my late 30s now, almost about to turn 40, and makes me very aware of how valuable life is and enjoy every minute of your youth. I mean, people look at 40 when you're younger. When I was a teenager in my 20s, I'm like, 40? I don't even know if I'll make it to 30. But, you know, as you get older, you start to appreciate your youth and what is considered youth. And I'm very happy of the time that I have here and the energy and the mindfulness that I have to project uh, for the causes that I believe in. And the National Brain Tumor Society is something that I strongly believe in. I think that the educational aspect of the funding that goes towards it and the research and ultimately the curation of brain tumors of all sorts. I mean, we can start with one or the other, one or many others, and uh, hopefully we can find a cure for any of these that so far seem incurable. Operations and radiation and chemotherapy have worked to a degree to um, stop these brain tumors, and some other people, like in my case, have tumors in locations of the brain or in sizes or capacities that are inoperable, at least at this point. Um, it makes things a little bit more difficult and complicated. So, fortunately, right now, I'm functioning on a level where I feel pretty happy about what I do have and thankful for the life that I have. I mean, finances and other things have been a struggle, but you know, I can't, as I've written in the post that you might be reading with this, is stop thinking from a standpoint of I wish this and I wish that and what if this and what if that. It's all about what we have here and now and what we can do, the differences that we can make. And believe it or not, it's really not all about money. It's not about just donating and throwing money at an issue, but ultimately we live in a society where money talks and a lot of other things walk. So in order to get the funding we need, we do ask for the support financially of people like yourself who can give. And you know, any donation, whether it's, you know, small $5 or as great as $1 million, whatever people have and can give. And obviously there's a lot of other causes, like I mentioned earlier, that demand attention. I'm not saying that brain tumors are the only issue that really uh, needs a focus and needs to be looked at. I mean, there's a lot of social, political, and medical causes to fight for. I'm a strong advocate of all those other conditions and issues, and but since this is something so dear to me and I really want to live, and maybe it's a little bit selfish because I'm fighting for something that affects me directly. It's made me more involved in this cause. I'm asking for your help and I'm asking for your support. There's a lot of things that I could be asking for, like my own personal financial help because I'm struggling really hard. I'm on Social Security disability right now. It's something that's humbling and not very proud to say that I'm on disability or that I receive food stamps, and I'm in search of affordable housing, which is hard to find in a place like Portland where rental prices are going through the roof. I'm fortunate enough to have a place to live right now because of a friend who's, you know, renting me out a 1-bedroom apartment, and I have room and internet access, and I'm able to focus on, in many ways, maintaining a person that I've always been deep inside. But I really, really would appreciate help in this cause because this cause is bigger than me. So yes, I'm selfish in advocating for a cause that I'm affected by, such as having a brain tumor, brain tumors, brain cancer. But by the same token, I'm not looking for money for myself. I'm just looking for help for the cause, and I want to be a spokesperson for the cause. And the National Brain Tumor Society is the largest not-for-profit organization that deals with help and treatment of brain tumors in the United States. And I put some links up on the page for where you can join my team. Either you can march with me. It's $25 to sign up and walk with me on August 7th, Sunday, August 7th, 2016. And, you get a t-shirt, walk with me, and we can all have a good time. It's a little 5K walk around downtown Portland to shut down the streets. We start at Pioneer Courthouse Square in the center of downtown. Or, if you don't want to do that, if it's something that you don't have time for, you can just make a donation. They also need volunteers. So if money is something that is difficult for you, volunteers helping with organization and the like, we can use anything that you can provide help with. I'm hoping that I can get together with people that can help me organize maybe some beer festivals, or each bar around Portland can have a keg donation, or breweries can donate a keg and a bar would be willing to sponsor that keg on tap. We can put the proceeds towards the NBTS. We had some good success last year with at least a handful of different breweries, pubs, and other outposts for craft beer. But it's not just craft beer. That's just what I know, and that's just the community that I have good ties in, and the social media sites that I'm involved with. There's a lot of people that have connections to that community. So it's one thing that I'm trying to tap into, no pun intended, I guess. But if there's other crafts or other skills or communities that have something to offer, we would be more than grateful to receive your help. And sometimes, like I said, it's not always the greatest thing to ask for help, but by the same token, if you don't ask for help, you're not going to receive it. So brain tumors and brain cancer and all that stuff really needs attention, and it needs advocacy now. We've come a long ways in just the short time that we've really been putting forth the study and the research to find a cure for different types of cancer in this country. And the NBTS, National Brain Tumor Society, has been doing a great job. So I'm hoping that we can receive your help and your support. And special thanks to my friends near and far for listening to this and for just supporting me, even if it's not through the NBTS or through donating. Just thank you for being my friend, and thank you for letting me know that you're out there and that you care about me, because I care about you. And I'm gonna have a little kumbaya here, but thank you, really, because when this first happened to me, my friends and community all stepped up really big. But over time, it's been about 3 years now since I've been dealing with this, since my diagnosis. Kind of people forget, maybe they don't forget, but people live busy lives and have their own issues, and it's easy to just not be as engaged with people like me, who are now more of a hermit and don't get out as much. So anywho, I think I've gone on long enough, but thank you. I hope I've articulated well enough the concerns of people like myself living with brain tumors and brain cancer. And that's about it. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. And I hope that you will join me and my team, Team Republic, or just support the National Brain Tumor Society, or any other group that does good. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Peace.